Aubrey.
I'm Abby.
I'm Abby.
And I'm Macy.
We're part of
Central Elementary's
STOP and CMPS team.
Our project is STOP,
which stands for
Slaying the Opioid Problem.
And our slogan is
STOP, while you still have a chance.
We're so glad to
Have a chance to speak
with you today about.
your testimony and recovery story.
Well, thank you guys. My name is Ted McCourt. I'm a person in long-term recovery, and I'm currently the Public Relations Director at Isaiah House. I'm originally from Johnson County, from Van Leer, Kentucky, and it's my pleasure to be here with you guys today to share with you guys my recovery story and my testimony.
please share with us your testimony and recovery story.
Absolutely. So, growing up, I had a really excellent childhood growing up. I grew up surrounded by a family that loved me, that gave me everything I ever needed. But as I got older, something seemed to be missing. I started to act out, to try to be seen, to try to be liked, to try to fit in, I guess you would say. And around the time I was 17 and I was a junior in high school, I tried marijuana for the first time. When I tried marijuana for the first time, I immediately thought to myself, wow, this is removing all that anxiety that I feel, all the stuff that all the challenges that I feel go into trying to talk to people and trying to be liked. It kind of removed that. It made me feel comfortable. Later on, I soon would try alcohol for the first time, and it even had better effects, I thought, for that. And then whenever I was I believe I was a senior in high school, I had my wisdom teeth removed, and I was prescribed a prescription pain medication, and I tried that, and I thought, wow, I really like the way that makes me feel. All these things made me feel better. It made me feel more whole, I guess you would say. This kind of path of like substance use would continue for several years. I got into college and my drinking really escalated. I actually was arrested in college for driving under the influence, DUI. Once that happened, things really began to spiral. I started using and seeking out to try to find and buy like prescription medication from people illegally. I continued using marijuana, I continued drinking, and eventually I began doing other substances as well, including cocaine. And eventually all this led to me being arrested 3 times, me losing the trust and the faith of my family. Like, they didn't really trust me. They wanted to see me succeed, but it just wasn't there. And then in 2000, my addiction lasted. I was in active addiction. So active addiction is what we call it from the time a person starts using, and when they're using, that's active addiction. I was in active addiction for around 10 years, from the time I was about 16, 17 years old, all the way up until I was 26, 27. Not exactly sure how old I was whenever I entered recovery. What caused me to start to try to live a new life and live differently was I overdosed on fentanyl. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid that is currently just littering the drug supply in the world, and it's killing people, a lot of people who aren't necessarily even meaning to use fentanyl are dying from fentanyl use. That was me. I thank God though that I lived through it. It was an eye-opening experience for me. I showed you guys that video. I never want to like make my mom, my sister, my dad, any of those people feel that way ever again. That was a horrible feeling, and I went from there to Isaiah House. I had tried outpatient treatment before. However, after that experience, I knew that I needed to go to an inpatient program. And so I went to my parents, found the Isaiah House, and I went to Isaiah House is where I decided to go to treatment. And that's where I started to learn about what recovery is, what it looks like. I started to feel we say that whenever you go to treatment or you go to whatever, that you're basically filling your toolbox with tools that help you be successful in recovery. And so I started to learn what was the root of what caused me to use? Why did I feel it necessary to use substances to try to fit in more, or to try to be someone who I'm truly not? Why did I want to? Why did I want to do that? I started to try to figure that out, and along with good counseling, I was able to do that. And ultimately, just boils down to that I just needed really just to love myself more and to be proud of myself and find some proper medication for different things that I struggle with. And yeah, today sitting here, I have nearly 3.5 years recovery behind me. This is something that I have to take serious every single day because I can very easily slip right back to where I was if I'm not careful. If I don't surround myself with good people, if I don't take my faith seriously, don't attend church, don't attend recovery meetings, it would be a very slippery slope where I could fall back into my addiction if I wasn't careful. And so it's an everyday journey. It's not a you get sober and everything's hunky-dory, you're good to go. It's something that takes a lot of work. I thank God that I'm able to put in that work, and just sharing my testimony with you guys today is part of my recovery. Like, this helps me continue to grow, continue to get better, and continue to be the person that God created me to be. It's a pretty cool thing. That I get to do this. So yeah, that's kind of that's my recovery testimony, kind of shortened up there, maybe into 5-10 minutes. But thanks for asking that question.
If you could give someone who is currently struggling with addiction one word of encouragement, what would you say?
If I'm talking to someone who's struggling, which I had a conversation today with a gentleman who walked into my office this morning and said, "I'm sick, I'm struggling." My message to him right off the bat was, "Brother, you are loved and you are safe. There are people out there who want to help you, who want to love you. There's hope for you. It's not an easy journey, but there is so much more in store for you when you decide to quit using and decide to live a life in recovery." And again, just letting the person know, letting that person know that there's hope and that they are loved. Like, addiction oftentimes makes us isolate ourselves and makes us try to remove ourselves from all the people around us because we feel so much shame and guilt. That's something we don't talk about. Is people in addiction typically don't want to be addicts. It could be genetics, it could be some mental health disorder, it could be whatever. But a lot of times people don't want to be addicts. That's not, when I was growing up, you heard me on the video, like I wanted to work in news. I did not grow up thinking I was going to be addicted to drugs. And it happens. And we begin to isolate ourselves from people. And so we don't know that people care about us still. We don't know that people love us still. So I would remind that person who's struggling with addiction, you are loved, you are wanted, and there is hope. That would be that would be the 3 things I'd want to tell someone.
What advice do you give someone who just started a recovery journey?
Well, just take it one day at a time. Don't try to plan too far ahead in the future. Don't try to. A lot of people will get into recovery thinking, okay, I've got these big goals. I want to buy a car. I want to get a job. I want to own a house. I want to have kids. I want to get my kids back. All these big, big things. But if you're early in your recovery journey, you really need to focus on yourself. You really need to take it one day at a time and focus on you. Focus on what's been causing you to struggle. All of those things, your kids, your family, your house, your car, your job, all of those things will come back as you work through the recovery process. It's not a snap your fingers and everything is okay. And so it's really important to take it one day at a time. I know that that's so cliche, but taking it one day at a time and growing a little bit every single day is my advice to a person when they start the recovery process. And one day at a time, focus on you, focus on loving yourself, and eventually you'll see it pay off.
Since completing your program, what has been your biggest challenge in maintaining sobriety?
My biggest challenge, it's been that now I have to have different relationships with my friends who I've had my entire life. You know, I'm not able to hang out and drink beer. I'm not able to hang out. I have to surround myself with different people. I have to have hard conversations with people sometimes. Like, hey, I don't feel comfortable in this situation right now. It can be triggering to me. It's making me maybe want to use. So you have to have strong conversations and accountability too. Like finding good people who will keep you accountable, who will ask you, hey, why didn't you go to this meeting today? Why didn't you come to work today? Why didn't you go to class today? Why didn't you, like people who love you, who are just trying to keep you accountable. It can be, that can be challenging sometimes because we're human. We want to be our own individual person, but at the end of the day, we have to have community. We have to have people to keep us accountable, and a lot of instances, and that's a challenge for me today. But yeah, I think that having tough conversations with friends, family, is difficult, but then also just remembering the importance of keeping yourself surrounded with like-minded people and accountability partners that keep you focused on recovery and keep reminding you that this is an everyday maintenance job. This is something that I have to work on every single day, or else I could quickly slide back into my addiction.
Was there a certain moment where you realized you needed help before your overdose happened?
So Yes. After around, so let's see, around 5 years before I had my overdose, I had gotten another DUI, and I realized then that my drinking was causing me to face a lot of consequences, but I didn't take it serious at the time. I was more so worried. The consequences were more so that my mom, my dad, these people were angry at me. And I thought, I'm okay. I'm a smart guy. I can figure this out. And so, but I knew then, I took some initiative and did some outpatient treatment. And that me being a smart guy kind of helped me just talk through that and get out of it. And I didn't really get the help that I needed at that point in time. But yeah, you know, like it did happen. Like there were points in time in my life where I would say to myself, like, I shouldn't be here. I would watch my other friends. I had other friends who graduated college and were, you know, going on and getting jobs, and I was just kind of floundering and not really knowing what I was going to do with my life, and had kind of lost all my ambition and goals in a sense, and you know, that was tough. And there were times where I, you know, wanted to get help, but I was scared to ask for help because I didn't want people to know. I was so consumed with not letting people know that I was using drugs and alcohol. I mean, people knew that I was using alcohol, but I didn't want people to know I was using drugs. I didn't want to be labeled as somebody who did drugs like that. And so it was just, it took me a long time. It took me the overdose to finally like really open up and say, all the cards are on the table now. Like, you guys know what I'm doing. I need help. Like, it took that moment for me to like truly ask for help and be sincere about it, and not just be saying, yes, I'll go get help so you'll quit yelling at me, Mom, like that type of thing, you know? So, yeah, hopefully that answered your question.
Thank you for speaking with us today. It means a lot.
Yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate it.